afternoon, crafty peeps. I'm so excited to share with you my third project using the July Craftology box featuring Simple Stories Bloom and Grow. I so love this collection. Okay, so this is what I made. I made this little summer banner, and in just a moment I'm going to show you basically how I made one of these, and then obviously it's kind of a repeat. They're all the same, just different letters. For the letters, they don't come in your kit, but what I did is I just got some basic letters from Hobby Lobby and I painted them red, white, and blue, and then I used my Stickles, this color is Diamond, after it dried, and I just kind of rubbed my finger on top of it, and it kind of gives it that little shimmery look. I love it. And I also did the shimmers on, the Stickles on my little pinwheels that I made here. And in the video I'm going to show you basically how to make one of these, and like I said, they're exactly the same for the rest. It's just a repeat. So I hope you enjoy the tutorial, and I'll be with you in just a second. Bye. So now, if you don't want to trace out, you can make the little pinwheels and put them in in the center of every other one. But you could easily trace them. Here's just a white piece of cardstock. My favorite kind of pencils are the mechanical pencils because they're a little bit thinner and it's easier for me to trace around them. So I just trace around here. And then I cut it out, and I will fast forward through the boring part here. Okay, now I know this is going to be a little bit difficult to see because I'm actually going to use a white piece of paper below this just to make a little room for my stuff. But I'm just going to take this artsy paste, and you can use any silver paint to do the jarred lid, okay? And I'm just going to dab my finger in here because I don't have a paintbrush on me. And I'm just going to run across this, and I'm going to kind of go down a little bit on here, and I'll show you in just a second how far I'm kind of going down. And in a minute you'll see why I'm doing that. And since the jar lid is round, I'm actually going to already give it that round effect. I just get the paste on there, and then I just start rounding it out. Okay? Always a little fun. You can do this with your brush or however you want to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and get my edges in there. And then I'm going to set it aside to dry. Okay? So this is basically as far down as I'm going to go. You don't need to go down any farther than that because actually we're going to do another trace out of the jar paper that's going to go right there. And I'm going to be right back. I need to wash my hands. Thought I had some wipes, but they're not around. Hold on. Okay, I'm back, and I know this tag looks a little bit crazy, but this is actually one of the little cutout tags, and I thought that this was really cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trace again around here, but I'm going to stop right up here. I'm not going to go all the way around because I don't need that part. I mean, if you want that part, you know, then you would only need to trace once and just on your colored cardstock, unless you want to give it that thicker look. Okay, so I'm just going to go right up to there, so right where the jar lid would be. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Kind of hard for me to see the lines. And I'm going to do my best to just cut this straight across. And I'm going to show you in just a minute what I did for mine to give it that little rounded indention. Okay. So, now it's going to look something like that. And I'm sorry, I'm grabbing the little die. I haven't gone anywhere. Okay. So I have this little oval die, and I thought, well, if I center it, I can kind of get it to give it that little dip there and do it evenly, because I'm going to be honest, I am not the best faux drawer. Okay. And then since my scissors already have a curve in it, that's what I love about these, I can easily turn it to the curve side and do that. Now, if you want to go ahead and distress your edges, you could do that now with your distress stain. I'm not going to do that. I kind of like the solid white look. Okay. So now if you were using your chipboard, you would have already, you would use your white gesso first and then paint it silver. Otherwise, well, you could probably just paint it silver, either way. And then you would just use your glue and glue it on top like this, okay? But since I don't have enough little chip, I want to make like a larger banner, okay? I am going to go ahead and glue this on, well, I did a little crooked cut in there. So I'm going to fix that up. Okay. Let me get my tape, my score tape. I'm not going to glue it right now. Normally I would glue this, but this is still a little bit wet, and I don't really want to get my fingers all yucky full of paint. So I'm going to cheat a little bit today and use my tape. And most of the time glue is a little bit easier to use, only because you have time to move it around and move it in place. Whereas tape, you don't have that luxury. So just going to do that. I'm going to burnish in my edges. Peel off the tape. Push back any ones that are hanging over. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. Trying to get it as even as possible. I may have to cut some of this because I can't, like I said, with tape, I don't have the luxury of moving this around. So I may have to adjust. And it looks like I did pretty good. Just a little bit here on this edge. I went over to a tad. Okay. So far it's looking so cute already. Okay, now let me see if this is almost dry. And you're going to need your We Are Memories Keeper hole punch. And for this particular project, you're going to want to use your smaller hole. As you know, you have two sizes here. I'm going to use the smallest one. And I'm just going to do it right here in the corner. I kind of measured this to, I think, about 1/4 of an inch. And then I can just rest it on here. and punch. Same here, and punch. So now I have my two little holes, and then you can fit your ribbon through here, and I like to feed it through the top and then underneath so that it's not showing on the back. Now, what you're also going to want to do is in your kit, you have your little petaloo flowers, and you will get some of these little extra twine pieces. So what I did was I took my glue gun, and of course my glue gun's not on, so I'm just going to kind of do a little example with some regular glue, although this is going to take forever to dry then. But actually, no, I apologize. Before I do that, I'm going to get out a colored pencil, a black colored pencil. I totally forgot to do this part. This is very important. Where are they? Here we are. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. So I have my black colored pencil. Okay. And what I'm going to want to do, because I want to do some shading, okay, to make this look like an actual jar. So I'm going to, in a, how would you say, kind of like a diagonal motion, I'm going to go ahead and start doing my shading, okay? And hopefully this is going to work, because like I said, this is still a little bit wet, okay? And I'm just going to try to, this one I'm going to do in a straight motion, and then I'm going to come around and do my little jar lid. Just a little oval here. Okay, and I'm just going to repeat it several times, and it will automatically start looking like it's shading in itself, because every time you come around, you usually never hit the same spot. Then again, I'm going to come in over here and do that diagonal shading again. Okay. So now it looks something like this so far. Okay, and then I'm going to like add a couple little lines in the top. And then I'm going to do one long one, but don't reach the end. Then I'm going to do another one reaching the end almost. And then I'm going to do another one, and then another one on this side and meet it in the middle. So now it's going to look something like that. And then underneath on the very bottom, I'm going to do that shading in again. Okay, make it a little bit darker and kind of lighten up as you're going around. And now it looks like a little jar lid. Love it! Okay, so I probably could have heated up my glue gun in the meantime, but I didn't. So I'm going to use, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a little bit of my tape here. Now normally you would use your glue gun, okay? I'm just doing this just to secure it to show you, okay? Because if you used the tape, you would probably see through this. I'm going to roll it up just a little bit to kind of hide it. And come back and then do a little tie. And then kind of stick it back down on that tape. Okay, so now we're almost done. See how easy this is? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, you're going to need a little paper clip or any kind of clip, okay? This one, or several actually, if you're going to make several of these. You're going to need your white piece of paper, which I have one. And that's okay that there's silver on here, because you're not going to see that because I'm only doing 2 1/2-inch strips of paper. Okay. Oops, this way. It's easier for me to see it that way. Okay. So I'm going to line it up on the 1/2 inch and cut. And then do it one more time. Now if you're doing several of these, you know, for each little pinwheel, you're going to need 2 strips, okay? And this is really easy. I actually saw a video tutorial on Pinterest for this, and I don't remember the lady's name. I so apologize. I probably should have remembered that. But I thought it was pretty neat. This kind of reminded me a little bit of when we used to make little bungee things when we were little kids in school. So I'm going to use my tape, my score tape, and now I'm going to lay this piece on top. And I know I've got paint all over my fingers, and that's why this is dirty. I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to take the first piece over and straighten it out, and then press it down. And then I'm going to do the same thing, and you're going to keep doing that, kind of like a basket weave, but it's not a basket. Okay, so now we're at the end. I have a little piece hanging over. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to get another piece of score tape, and I know it's kind of hard to manage this all at once. You could use glue, but then this drying process takes a lot longer. Okay, sorry. And you're going to go ahead and tape the last piece down. Okay. Burnish in your edges. And then cut off that little tiny excess piece. Okay. So now it looks something like this, okay? Now we're going to marry the two ends together. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue and then my paper clip and clip it together and then let it dry. So now gonna look something like this when we're done. Or is that not looking right? No, it's right. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I will be back. Actually, while that is drying, there is one more little additional step we can do. So I took out one of my little enamel dots, and I'm going to put it on the center here, and I have a little pair of tweezers, and that always helps me. But I'm going to add a little bit of glue in the center because you know how the sticky tape stuff never works. We all know this. Or you could use your glue gun. I used my glue gun before, but you know, I don't like the strings. Okay, so now I'm just going to let that dry, okay? Then, once it's dry, you will attach it to your clip tool. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, you're just going to glue gun it right here. And then you're good to go. Just make sure you don't cover over your little hole. And that's it. That's the end of it. I hope you all like this tutorial. And I hope you all have a wonderful and fabulous day. And I will be making one more little item for our Craftology box kit. So that's for this month. So I was able to get a lot of little projects out of this. So I hope you all have a wonderful and fabulous day. Thanks. Bye.